Before I get into the actual review, I need to do a bit of a rant. First-person shooters have always been one of my favorite genres of gaming. The first FPS I played was Doom on the Super Nintendo, and although I played one of the worst ports in history, I did enjoy it at the time, and my dad got me the PC version soon afterwards. I then enjoyed now legendary first-person shooters such as Quake, Quake 2, Half-Life, Duke Nukem 3D, GoldenEye 007, and Perfect Dark. In 2001, Halo revolutionized first-person shooters on consoles by introducing a regenerating health system, a 2-weapon limit, quick grenade throws, and fairly linear gameplay, which was a departure from finding health packs, carrying all your weapons at once, and exploring the level in order to find secret exits and hidden areas with lots of goodies in them. Since Halo was introduced, most FPSs have headed in this new direction, most notably the Call of Duty series, Medal of Honor, Battlefield, and yes, even Duke Nukem Forever. It seems that the FPSs of old that involved exploration without having to worry about combat zones.
Let's just head down here, shall we? Oh, must have tripped. Must have tripped. I just instantly died for no reason.
Complex levels with multiple secret areas, lots of weapons you could carry with you all at once, combat situations involving more than 3 enemies at a time, and the need to find health packs has died out. After all, if Duke Nukem Forever, the successor to one of the most fun first-person shooters of all time, went in this new direction, it must be over, right?
They're coming out of the goddamn wall!
It's not over until I teabag every last one of you motherfuckers. As we go, the worlds we left below, we all dream of day we rise above.
Thank you, Sam and Crow Team. Thank you for keeping the hope alive. Serious Sam 3 BFE was developed by Croatian-based developers Crow Team, published by Devolver Digital, and released on November 22, 2011 for Windows PCs, April 22, 2012 for Mac, and October 17, 2012 for Xbox Live Arcade. An expansion DLC called Jewel of the Nile was released on October 16, 2012 for PC, and October 17, 2012 for the 360, and it features a new single-player campaign. Serious Sam 3 serves as a prequel to Serious Sam the First and Second Encounters, originally released in 2001 and 2002. It follows the titular hero as he battles Mental's forces in near-future Egypt in order to activate the Time Lock, an ancient high-tech device that has the ability to send one person back in time. Sam needs to enter the Time Lock in order to prevent Mental's invasion of Earth from ever happening. Along the way, Sam fights hordes of enemies, which include series mainstays such as Headless Rocketeers, the irritating Clear Skeletons, Gnar, Scythian Witch Harpies, Biomechanoids, Arachnoids, Werebulls, and of course those annoying as hell Headless Kamikazes.
Put a sock in it. Uh-oh.
New threats include hatchling and juvenile spiders, clone soldiers, scrapjacks, which bear resemblance to Doom's Mancubi, technopolyps, knooms, which strongly resemble Doom's Barons of Hell, cave demons, and witch brides.
Oh, I like a powerful woman. Maybe not that powerful.
Enemy AI is fairly simple for the most part, and consists of either standing still and shooting at you or directly charging at you. The clone soldiers duck in and out of cover while canoons lead their fireballs into your strafing, so careful planning while engaging these beasts is strongly advised, lest you get burned by their attacks.
Now this is what I call a gun.
Of course, what would a Serious Sam game be without an arsenal of powerful over-the-top weaponry? The shotgun, double-barrel coach gun, signature minigun, rocket launcher, sniper rifle, laser gun, and the all-powerful cannon make a comeback. The sledgehammer replaces the knife as a melee weapon, and it's much more fun, with the ability to perform 360-degree swings that can pulverize groups of weaker enemies. The pistol, which replaces the revolvers, is a fast-firing infinite ammo Desert Eagle that will serve you well in the first couple of levels. The assault rifle is a good, well-rounded weapon that can surprisingly take out threats at both long and close ranges, but you have to reload it often. The Devastator shotgun, like its name says, devastates anything in your way with rapid-fire explosive shells. The classic minigun is an excellent all-rounder, but it burns through ammo very quickly. The laser, like the minigun, is great against almost any enemy, especially the clear skeletons. The sniper rifle is quite powerful, but of course it's best for long-range attacks. C4 can be used to clear groups of minor enemies as well as be directly thrown on enemies to kill them instantly, even some of the major enemies. The Mutilator Bracelet can unleash groups of smaller enemies together and decimate them, but sadly it's not that useful. Finally, Serious Sam 3 gives Sam the ability to perform instant kill melee attacks on certain enemies, which further adds to the variety of combat. However, you can take damage while performing the executions, so you cannot abuse them to gain invincibility. Some enemies can only be harmed by explosives, which adds to the tension of these fights, as most explosive weapons take time to reach their target, and canoons can actually dodge your rockets. The gunplay itself feels comfortable and natural. The shooting is possibly the strongest aspect of Serious Sam 3, as it should be. The level design is hit and miss. The first 5 levels take place in urban settings, while later levels have Sam explore vast desert areas, ruins, and abandoned temples, which are very nice to look at. For the most part, the levels are expansive and complex. In Serious Sam tradition, some levels feature arena areas in which you have to kill hordes of enemies in order to move on to the next area or to end the level. Perhaps my least favorite level is the second level, the museum. The narrow corridors, dark basement areas, and just overall linear design do not fit a fast-paced old-school style shooter such as Serious Sam. Additionally, there is a section in a later level which you have to destroy a series of walls with C4 in order to proceed. This section totally ruined the rhythm of the level for me. I slaughter a bunch of enemies, my adrenaline's pumping, and then the game says, "Whoa there. Before you get all serious, first you have to blow up all these walls by placing the C4 directly on the wall, kill some enemies behind the wall, go back to get more C4, and repeat until through." That was probably my most hated moment of the game. Fortunately, each level contains some well-hidden secret areas that contain anything from ammo stockpiles, health, armor, weapons, or even enemies.
Line up! I'm offering free tickets to hell.
Although some secrets are traps, exploration is encouraged. I will most likely remember the first secret of Serious Sam 3 for a long time.
Shit! You ought to be more careful. You'll put an eye out.
That is just hilarious. The final boss fight is one of the most memorable and epic bosses I've ever experienced, and is a good way to end the game. There are 6 total difficulty levels in all, ranging from tourist to mental, so you can replay on a higher difficulty level if you want an even bigger challenge. I've only played on normal so far, and I have no desire as of yet to play on a higher difficulty level, as normal provides a good challenge in itself. Survival mode is a solo and co-op scenario that involves taking on never-ending waves of enemies. The goal is simply to hold out as long as you can. The game starts you out with an abundance of supplies, and some maps spawn more in at fixed intervals. Official survival maps track times on leaderboards. However, there are only a few official survival maps. Fortunately, there exists plenty of user-made survival maps that greatly extend the replayability of survival mode. The multiplayer modes include competitive modes such as Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, Beast Hunt, and My Burden. Co-op is especially fun, which supports up to 16 players, but good luck trying to find someone else to play with. Every time I try to play multiplayer, there are either empty servers or only 1 or 2 other people. If this game had more exposure, I am sure this would not be as big a problem. The PC version has Steam Workshop support, so installing mods to alter gameplay, add enemies, levels, weapons, or survival maps is very easy, which further adds to the replay value of the game.
Honey, I'm home.
To go along with the gameplay, an excellent soundtrack by Domjan Moronovac is very fitting. From exploring city areas looking for secrets, to fighting mobs of enemies,
Not enough room in this town for both of us, partner.
his soundtrack is one of the best I have heard. It also features contributions from Croatian heavy metal band Undercode.
Whoa.
The sound effects are very well done. The weapons sound powerful, while enemy sounds such as the footsteps of the clears, roaring of the biomechanoids, and the infamous scream of the kamikazes are superb. John J. Dick returns to voice Sam, and he does a great job as usual.
What's that, Prince? This is what it sounds like when doves cry. Thought so. Yeah, I'd be mad too if I couldn't see my own junk. Wakey, wakey, motherfucker! seriously bad.
Although Serious Sam 3 sounds like a great game so far, it does have its flaws. The first 5 levels may be a turn-off to Serious Sam veterans because they are more linear than levels seen in previous Serious Sam games. Jewel of the Nile features more classic Serious Sam inspired levels, including swimming sections, which are absent in the main game. Secondly, which is one of my biggest complaints, the laser and sniper rifle are only found in secret areas. Additionally, their ammo can only be found in secrets. This severely limits their usefulness because unless you find all the secret areas, you won't be able to use them much. Even if you do find every secret area, you still won't be able to use them as much as you'd like because the laser eats through ammo very quickly and you can only hold 10 rounds for the sniper rifle. Although these two weapons are not secret exclusive in Jewel of the Nile, it remains a problem in the main game. Third, there is not much variety in the gameplay. Although taking on legions of enemies with powerful weaponry is still fun, it gets old after a while. There are no vehicles like there were in Serious Sam 2. The only form of transportation is available in the final boss fight and in one level of Jewel of the Nile. Fourth, although the slogan of this game is "No cover, all man," in many situations, especially against arachnoids and technopolyps, you have no choice but to hide in order to avoid damage. This is especially true with technopolyps, which can shred through your armor and health extremely quickly. Damage from clone soldiers is relatively low, but having to take cover from certain enemies instead of utilizing dodging takes away from the pacing of the game. Fifth, the jumping mechanic feels a bit off. What I mean by this is that jumps that seem to be easy to make are more difficult than they should be. This problem was not in the original games. There was one time I tried to get to a secret by making a running jump, but I kept on falling short. If the jumping mechanic was kept from the original games, then this would not have been a problem.
Just like Mom used to say, the only good space monkey is a dead space monkey.
Finally, although the cave demons are difficult to kill because they attack and immediately jump to cover, you don't have to fight them. You can just run away from the areas they inhabit without any consequences. However, this is an old school style FPS. You want to kill all the enemies, unless you're going for a speedrun, but the cave demons are so irritating to kill that it's easier just to avoid them. The witch brides are even worse. You cannot ignore them for the most part since their attacks freeze you in place. To kill these bitches without a single cannonball, you need to stay in one place, preferably one that's free of enemies, attack her with a rocket or a devastator shell when she appears, let her disappear, and just repeat until dead. Thankfully, they are pretty rare. Overall, Serious Sam 3 is a well-made throwback to old-school first-person shooters. That is, exciting gunplay and battles with a relatively weak story. If you want a deep and gripping story with your first-person shooter, then play Bioshock Infinite or Half-Life. The graphics are well done, the gameplay is fast-paced and exciting, the weapons are fun to use, the sound and music are superb, the multiplayer is fun, the game is challenging, there's a thriving modding community that is supported by the Steam Workshop, and later levels are well designed. However, early levels are disappointing, the gameplay can get stale, some enemies and situations ruin the pace of the game, and the lack of the laser and sniper rifle in the main campaign ultimately take away from what could have been a truly remarkable experience. I would recommend this game to anyone looking for a breath of fresh air in the monotony that is the current FPS genre, as well as the fans of old-school first-person shooters like Doom and Duke Nukem 3D. This game is what Duke Nukem Forever should have been, and not a Call of Duty-inspired disappointment. The modern FPS genre needs games like this. Now, I was going to give Serious Sam 3 a 7.5 out of 10, but after reconsideration, I figured, what the hell, and decided to give Serious Sam 3 BFE a solid 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching my review, everyone, and keep on hanging in there.
Jesus Christ, I think I killed half the known universe back there.